One day, I got the news that my stepmother, who raised me, had passed away. I can't focus on work right now. I'll go to the funeral and say my proper goodbyes. Just when I was thinking that, my husband spoke up. Are you really going to fly out for a funeral? I won't allow such wasteful spending. He flat out refuses to let me attend my stepmother's funeral. Even worse, he ignores my desperate pleas and denies the importance of my stepmother's life. I won't back down. No matter what anyone says, I'm going to see my stepmother. My name is Emily. I'm 28 years old. I married Liam 2 years ago and work full-time at a certain company. We met at a mixer and we both were the same age. I was single at the time, so I started dating him casually. Turns out that was the right move. We have a relationship that feels more like friendship, and it's been incredibly easygoing. Shortly after we got married, Liam was transferred for work, and I decided to follow him. I put in a transfer request at my job, moving to the office nearest to Liam's new location. I had never left my hometown before, so this was a first for me. Leaving home was a bit sad, but the excitement of married life outweighed that. 2 years have passed, and I've completely acclimated to this new place. Life is good, for the most part. Then, on another day, I was taking my lunch break at work when my dad called. The message was clear. My mother had passed away. Not my biological mother, but the woman who raised me. My real mother is alive and well, living without any health issues. The news of the death came from someone commonly referred to as my stepmom. She's not blood related and lives just a few minutes away from my family home. I've always called her Olivia. My parents run their own business, and after having me, they apparently didn't have the time to raise a child. So they entrusted me to Olivia, who was an old friend of my dad's and got along well with both my parents. After some discussions, it was decided that I would stay with Olivia until I was old enough to be home alone. Every day when I got home from school, Olivia would greet me with a smile. "Emily, welcome home! Did you have fun at school today?" "I did! But the homework today looks really hard. Can you help me, Olivia?" "Of course, but first let's have a snack." "A snack? Yay! Today we've got your favorite, chocolate chip cookies." "Really? I'm so happy! I love you, Olivia." Olivia always put me first. She scolded me when I misbehaved and praised me when I did well. I think we had a relationship as if we were true family. To me, Olivia was as important as my real parents. During the time until I could stay home alone, I spent more time at Olivia's house than my own. Meals and showers were mostly taken at her house. Since I've always been a good eater, the food expenses were no joke. So my parents decided to give Olivia a fixed amount of money each month. At first, she apparently refused to accept any money. "I'm doing this because I want to. I'm happy just being with Emily." That's what she said and stuck with that stance. However, my parents insisted, saying it wasn't right not to give her anything. After multiple refusals, she eventually reluctantly accepted the money. But my stepmother, as far as I knew, never touched that money. When I got married, she gifted me a pearl necklace. It was clearly high quality, and when I looked up the store, I realized it wasn't something she could easily afford on her own. She must have saved the money my parents had been sending all along. She used it to buy me that necklace as a wedding gift. After getting married and moving away, I couldn't see her as often, but I always made sure to visit when I was back home. My stepmother who thought of me until the end. Now I heard that she's gone. Losing her isn't something I can easily accept. She was a parent to me, after all. Olivia, why so suddenly? I knew she was sick, but I never thought she'd go this quickly. She probably didn't want to worry me and never showed how much she was struggling. The news was so abrupt that my mind couldn't keep up. I got the call from my dad on Saturday. The funeral would be on Monday. I immediately called my boss and explained the situation. Luckily, it wasn't a busy time at work, so my leave got approved easily. That night, I decided to tell my husband about it after he got back from his holiday shift. "Liam, my dad called today. Olivia has passed away." "Olivia? Who's that?" "What do you mean, who's that? She basically raised me. You met her when we visited my family home, remember?" "Oh, did I? I don't really remember." Ugh. Anyway, that's the situation. The funeral is on Monday, so I'm going. But then my husband said something unthinkable. "No way! She's not even your mom, right?" "What?" "I absolutely won't allow you to go to the funeral." With a dismissive comment, my husband starts fiddling with his phone. I'm stunned for a moment, but quickly snap back to reality, confronting him. Wait a minute, why? What's wrong with going to the funeral? Come on, how many times do I have to say it? She's not your mom, is she? What are you talking about? She's been like a mother to me. She's looked after me for years in place of my own parents. When I was younger, I spent more time with Olivia than I did with them. I plead desperately, but his face clearly shows he's not convinced. He lets out a sigh and bluntly tells me, Look, your parents paid her to take care of you, right? That just makes it a business. She was basically your babysitter. What a way to put it. The money was for my living expenses, nothing more. Sure. You can think that way if you want. She took care of you because she got paid. End of story. I can't believe you. How can you say that? Is it so wrong to want to properly say goodbye to someone who has been so kind to me? I never said that. All I'm saying is that there's no need to spend time and money on a stranger's funeral. What? Why do you get to decide that? It's my time and my money, so it has nothing to do with you. His callous remarks fuel a boiling rage within me. I bite my lower lip, struggling to keep my shouting in check. But it seems he's still not satisfied with my reaction. He smirks condescendingly and coldly states, You know, deep down, don't you? She only looked after you for the money. That's not true. Don't speak ill of Olivia. You're really stubborn. Just make sure you don't go to that funeral. If you do, you won't be forgiven. Olivia looking after me just for the money? That's absolutely impossible. She has always been so kind, and she continued to be good to me even after I grew up. Ultimately, we didn't speak the rest of the day and retreated to separate rooms. The next day, I decided to try talking to my husband again. His face looked stern, maybe still carrying the weight of last night's argument. Despite the tension, I gathered my courage and spoke up. Hey Liam, about yesterday. He let out an exasperated sigh and clearly showed his annoyance. Ugh, seriously? You're still not giving this up? I told you I'm not okay with you going to the funeral, didn't I? But why not? Olivia means a lot to me. So, you're going to hop on a plane just to attend a stranger's funeral? Between the travel expenses and the gifts, what are you trying to accomplish with all this unnecessary spending? How is it unnecessary? It's all needed, and I'm the one paying for it. I'll attend the funeral on Monday and be back by Tuesday. I stood my ground, but his reaction didn't change. In fact, he seemed more agitated by my response. Can you just stop? Our money is our money. I'm working overtime and even on weekends, and you're reducing our savings with your frivolous endeavors. Frivolous endeavors? Are you serious? She's already passed, hasn't she? Just move on. You're not going to see her again. At the sight of my husband's dismissive smile, I reached my breaking point. I glared at him and stated firmly in a low voice, I'm going to Olivia's funeral, Liam, whether you like it or not. Didn't you hear what I just said? It's a waste of money. That's not the point. At my raised voice, my husband's shoulders flinched. Hey, what's with the yelling all of a sudden? It's because you keep saying terrible things. Would you not go to your own parents' funeral? So you're saying Olivia isn't your real mom, huh? Olivia is my mom, okay? She's just like a mom to me. You have no clue how much time I've spent with her, so stop making assumptions. Fine, whatever. Do what you want. After packing a few days' worth of clothes into a bag, my husband stormed out of the house. Meanwhile, I started packing for my trip home. Simple, subdued dresses for the funeral filled my suitcase. It was tough to leave without my husband's understanding, but now's not the time for that. I headed to the funeral without waiting for him to return. I caught a flight Sunday night to attend the Monday funeral. I was supposed to come back on Tuesday, but the urge to sort things out with my husband made me return Monday night. I couldn't forgive what Liam had said. Even though we're married, I don't want this tension between us to last forever. I quickly headed back home. Maybe, just maybe, he's already returned. It was late, so I opened the door quietly. Then, unfamiliar red pumps caught my eye in the entrance. I heard unfamiliar laughter from a young woman coming from the living room. I carefully took off my shoes and tiptoed down the hall. Peering through the glass door, I saw my half-dressed husband with an unknown woman. What the... Liam, what are you doing? I was so taken aback I couldn't think straight, but I knew the situation was not normal. While standing there shocked, I heard their conversation. Hey Liam, are you sure it's okay to bring me to your house? Won't your wife find out? It's fine. She's at some old lady's funeral right now. And you always said you wanted to come over, right? Yeah, but what if we get caught? I can't afford to pay alimony if it comes to a divorce. You're with me almost every day. Don't you have financial issues? Well, yeah, I've been splurging on you. So if it comes to alimony in a divorce, it's gonna be bad. Jeez, you're such a bad guy, Liam. You lie to your wife about working late, don't you? When I spend the day with you, I told her I had to work on my day off. She's clueless, so she never realizes. Wow, Liam, you really are a bad guy. The room filled with the loud laughter of two people. What on earth is going on? He lectured me about how it's a waste of money to fly to a funeral, and yet here he is, lavishing gifts on his mistress? Unforgivable. To think that this was the guy who insulted Olivia. Just minutes ago, I had been contemplating reconciling with my husband, but now, all warmth for him had turned ice cold, leaving only disgust. They're getting all lovey-dovey, completely unaware of my presence. I swiftly activated the video recording on my phone, capturing the evidence clearly. Just to be safe, I sent the video to my parents as well, securing irrefutable evidence. Now, I was ready. With adrenaline pumping, I flung the door open and stood assertively in front of the cuddling couple. Hey, what's going on here? Emily, why are you here? Weren't you coming back tomorrow? I looked down at my flustered, stammering husband and calmly stated, I came back earlier than planned. I wanted to have a serious talk with you, Liam, but it seems there's no need for that now. No, you're getting it wrong. She's just a colleague from work. I'm her mentor. Oh, really? So mentors bring their half-dressed protégés home now? Oh, well, that is... Go on, say something. My husband was at a loss for words, and his mistress was visibly trembling, turning pale. What happened to their earlier bravado? Seeing my pathetic husband, everything started to seem ridiculous. Oh, was this the man I once loved? Is this the person I married and desperately tried to get to understand me? Before me, the man I once loved was pathetically fumbling for excuses for his affair, telling lies so transparent even a child could see through them. I took a deep breath and made myself clear. Enough is enough. How much more do you need to disappoint me before you're satisfied? You have the nerve to waste money on your affair, yet complain about my spending on commuting? What about you? You're the one wasting money. Calm down, Emily. I get it. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Forgive you? You've got to be kidding. You mock me, and then when it's convenient, you say you're sorry? Life doesn't work like that. You and your mistress can go to hell. Now get out, both of you. I threw my husband and his half-naked mistress out of the house and locked the door. I also tossed their belongings and clothes off the balcony. For a while, they continued to shout in front of the house. When a neighbor came out to check, they found a half-dressed man and woman. Eventually, the police were called, and they ended up giving statements at the station. The news broke at work, resulting in his mistress losing her part-time job, and my husband being demoted to a less responsible department. He managed to keep his job, but has been calling in sick frequently, unable to bear the cold stares from coworkers. As for me, I packed my bags and went back to my parents' house immediately. A few days later, I consulted a lawyer for divorce mediation and spousal support. He's still resisting the divorce, but it's only a matter of time with all the evidence I have. Since coming back home, I've started working at the local branch I was at before. And with my stepmother's grave nearby, I'll be visiting more often. Olivia, I'll come see you often from now on. I said that as I stood in front of her resting place, hands pressed together in prayer.